Welcome to In the Clinch with Chuck and D. I'm Chuck.
Wouldn't you like to be my neighbor? You like the cardigan?
Not really.
Not really. Well, you there, mama. I ain't wearing for you anyway.
Are you supposed to be the modern Mr. Rogers?
I'm the black Mr. Rogers. Wouldn't you?
That's already been done.
Who?
Eddie Murphy.
Oh,
Saturday
man, I ain't
Night
talking
Live.
that. Eddie ain't got nothing on me.
Anyways,
Anyways.
UFC 128 recap show, and we will be doing our predictions for UFC Fight Night that's coming up this Saturday. So let's jump right into it. Marquardt, Dan Miller. Pretty good fight.
Good fight. Good fight.
Dan Miller was a late ad.
He was a late ad, and to be honest with you, he was kind of outsized too. Marquardt is just a big dude.
Yeah, I wonder, if he was just feeling fat that day. So when they called him to take the fight, he was like, "Yeah, no problem. I could wait."
Dan Miller, Dan Miller's a good fighter. I just don't. He's not the better of the two Miller brothers. And
he's like if Jim is a dog, then Dan is a puppy.
Yeah.
And Marquardt, Miller was game all night, but in the end he gave way to the better fighter. Marquardt won the fight by decision. Jim Miller was on the card though. Mm-hmm. The Mo Better Miller brother was on the card against Belarus.
Completely outclassed him.
Put on a clinic.
Completely outclassed him.
Dana, the man needs a title shot.
I don't know.
Nobody wants to see Edgar
Maynard 3.
And Maynard 3.
No one wants to see that.
Give Jim Miller his shot, man.
Give him his dues, Dana. Give him his damn dues.
Brandon Shaw versus Mirko Cro Cop, the retiring of a legend, I think.
Well, that should have happened a couple fights ago, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Cro Cop, he pulled off a win, an okay win against Pat Barry.
Well, let's just call a spade a spade. Pat Barry broke his foot.
Well, yeah, and his hand. He did. That's what I'm saying. It was an okay win. So nothing to be proud of. Nothing to write home and tell your mom.
It was a great fight right up until that. Matt Schaub ended it with a club punch to the back of the ear, and that was it.
To be honest with you, I just don't. Mirko Cro Cop, it is retire on your shield, baby.
Yeah.
Hey.
Go out on your shield.
Go out on your shield.
Uriah Faber and is it Eddie?
Eddie Wineland.
Eddie Wineland. It turned out to be a better fight than I thought it was going to be because I didn't really know a lot about Wineland.
And Wineland was former WC champ.
Thank you to the YouTube fans that brought that to our attention.
Shout out. Eddie Wineland is a good striker. Really good striker.
He's a really bad head mover.
Well, yeah, and I think to be out, Faber is good all around.
Right. And
to let that guy he destroyed him on his feet.
He let a shorter man with a shorter reach him, and once Uriah Faber puts you on your back, it's going to be a hard night.
Over. Yeah, it's over. So.
But the biggest story of the night.
Shogun Mauricio Shogun Hua.
And Johnny Bones Jones.
Right.
The Truth.
Don't give him that nickname.
He's the Truth.
No, somebody already got that moniker.
I don't care.
Johnny Big Bones Jones or something.
Nah.
Or Bigger Bones Jones.
I'm going to tell you something. Somebody else may have the moniker, but he defines the moniker.
Well, needless to say, and I wanted to go with Bones on this one. I went with Hua because I didn't think that the experience would show, or the lack of experience would show, which or I thought the lack of experience would show. It didn't. That didn't happen. He completely destroyed Shogun.
Domination.
I don't know if ring rust was a factor in this one or not. I don't know if Hua was.
What does that have to do with John Bones Jones dominating the fight?
Was completely healed by his injury. I just think it may be. So it was a couple of other things factoring into the outcome of the fight. But needless to say, Johnny Bones Jones destroyed him. I'm not going to say that John Bones Jones is the second coming of Jesus Christ like you predicted him to be.
I said 5 fights ago the man would have a strap.
Yes,
He's got a strap.
You did. He has a strap. Will he hold it? So, which is okay. Good segue into the UFC fight.
Hold on, time out. I definitely know he's going to defend it at least one time because it's Rashad Evans.
No one wants to see it. I don't want to see that fight.
It's funny because the crowd was booing Rashad, and he gets this big grin on his face. But you know it bothers him.
It bothers him.
Rashad, you know it bothers you.
It bothers him.
You've become a villain, and you don't even know how you became a villain.
Oh,
but
it was with Rampage.
It was even before that.
Yeah.
You drank your own Kool-Aid, kid.
Yeah.
You were a small man that won a heavyweight Ultimate Fighter, and you let it go to your head.
To be honest with you, I mean, I don't think he's a top contender at 205.
Yeah, we'll get to that. We'll get to Rashad Evans and Jones when it comes up. UFC Fight Night this Saturday. Amazing card. Hey, Joe Silva.
It's free.
And it's free.
It's free.
It's free.
It's free.
Is that the free dance?
Yeah, it's the free dance. You know, you do the shake and you do
the
Muppet dance.
It's a free fight card on Spike.
Free fight card.
And listen, Joe Silva, thank you for watching the show, man, because we've been criticizing your fight making ability, but you put together a solid card here. I mean, on paper.
On paper.
You know,
it could be no. I think it's still going to be some good fights on this. You have to make it good fights on free TV
because no fight is bigger than the next or greater than the next. Let's just start with the top fight of the night. Rogerio Nogueira. Mm-hmm. Don't be confused because UFC website has it as Minotauro, but it's not Minotauro. It's Rogerio.
Well, it has Minotauro's picture up.
Yeah, it has Minotauro's picture. It says Minotauro, but he's fighting Rogerio.
Yes. 205.
At 205.
Interesting fight. Phil Davis is undefeated. The bigger of the two fighters.
4-inch reach advantage.
Rogerio Nogueira, to me, is the lesser of the two brothers that fight. He hasn't, to me, since he got into the octagon, he hasn't impressed me at all.
Not his brother.
Not his brother at all. Will he ever be a champ at 205? No.
This is just a speed bump.
He shouldn't have lost to Brills. I mean, he shouldn't have won against Brills. Brills should have won that fight. Outstanding wrestler.
Terrible decision.
He lost to Ryan Bader. Outstanding wrestler. Now he's fighting Phil Davis, who I feel is a better wrestler than
Division 1A champion.
Yeah,
Penn State.
I just don't see him beating Phil Davis.
We talked about Mirko Cro Cop earlier. I think what you're going to see here is a continuation of the passing of the torch from the old guard to the new guard. Not that Nogueira is not really old guard. He kind of came on the scene late.
Right.
He's always supporting his brother, but Phil Davis all day in this fight.
Well, yeah, because I mean, even he was training for Tito Ortiz, and we all know that it's a different fighter. So I'm picking Phil Davis. Ground and pound, third round.
Apples to
sandwiches. It is comparing. They do. Tito Ortiz and Phil Davis is two different fighters. So I hope he just changed up his whole game plan.
I can't even believe we're still talking about Tito Ortiz.
Yeah.
Speaking of old guard,
I'm going Phil Davis, second round, ground and pound.
I think Phil Davis is going to beat him in the first round.
All right.
TKO. Dan Hardy versus Anthony Rumble Johnson. This fight, there's not a lot of big implications in this fight. It's not like anybody's getting a title shot, but you got Anthony Rumble Johnson coming back from an injury that's kept him out since 2009.
Right. His last fight was against Koscheck in 2009.
You got Dan Hardy, which he got money for fight of the night. Mm-hmm. You got Dan Hardy, who's coming back from 2 consecutive losses, one to George St. Pierre and the next to Carlos Condit, who all of a sudden found knockout power.
Right. I think Carlos Condit always had knockout power, but I think Dan Hardy got a taste of what it really was like.
He hit me and I got knocked out.
I will say this. I think Dan Hardy's going to pull this off. Just because I'm going to go back to the ring rust situation.
I hear you on the ring rust thing. My thing is if this was a fisticuff brawl, if they were just standing in the middle of the ring going, I'd give it to Dan Hardy because Dan Hardy is a hunter killer in that regard. But Anthony Rumble Johnson has got so much more, and he's got athleticism and he's got reach. I'm going Anthony Rumble Johnson by decision.
Hey, I'm going to say this. Anthony Rumble Johnson has a shot at winning this fight and knocking out Dan Hardy.
Veil of invincibility
has
been lifted.
It's been lifted. But the reason I'm going with Dan Hardy just simply because he's on a 2-fight lose streak and he seems a little hungry to get back in on the winning track. So
Could be.
I got knocked out.
Some bangers and mash.
Next fight.
Amir Sadala versus DeMarcus Johnson. These are 2 hungry, young, up-and-coming fighters. They both came out of tough. It's gonna be a great fight. I think this has got. It could be fight of the night.
It could be. I think both of these guys are going to stand up and bang. First of all, I think that DeMarcus has an edge because I think DeMarcus is a lot more well-rounded than what.
He gets all the checkpoints.
Right.
He's taller. He's got reach. He's
Athleticism,
stronger.
right.
He meets all the checkpoints.
Amir Sadala seems just one-sided. I think his striking is really good. I mean, he has good jiu-jitsu, but it's not. It's not great.
It's like subpar.
Yeah, well, yeah.
I still remember the triangle that he won to get on the show with,
Right.
and it was like the most flippity floppity.
Well, you gotta understand.
Who knows that they're being put in a triangle for 5 minutes and still lets it get. Anyways,
Yeah.
So you're going DeMarcus Johnson?
I'm gonna go with DeMarcus Johnson.
I'm gonna go Amir Sadala, and I'm gonna just base it on heart. DeMarcus Johnson has had hard times with guys like Sadala, who just have that go, never quit kind of a persona, and that's Amir Sadala. So I'm gonna go with Amir Sadala in this fight, probably by decision.
Next,
remember I said you remember I said it could be fight of the night.
It could be,
but it won't be.
It won't be.
You know
why? Because we got this fight coming up.
Right, Leonard Garcia,
and
I'll let you pronounce
Chung Sung Jung, or the Korean zombie is what he's. I love it because we give like these nicknames so that way we ain't gotta pronounce their name. So the Korean zombie, the Korean zombie versus Leonard Garcia, which
first
we all
fight
know
was a war.
WEC. It was a fight of the year candidate. I'm not sure if it won or not, but
it ended controversial.
It did end controversial. Anyone who watched the fight knows that it was close. It was a split decision and went Garcia's way. Do I feel that Garcia won that fight? But
Leonard Garcia is a balls to the wall fighter.
If you mash your face into the cage in the final 10 seconds of the fight will go your way.
Right.
Ask Leonard Garcia. I mean, this guy goes balls to the wall every time he gets in. I mean, dude, every fight. That wasn't his first controversial fight. He got into the fight with Nan Fan, which everybody, he got whooped in that fight.
Got robbed.
He got robbed. He got robbed with the lights on, with the police standing next to him. But with that said,
and his mother was the mastermind behind the crime.
With that said, I will say this: Leonard Garcia pulls this off.
I don't think so.
You don't think so?
I think this is gonna go Jung's way, and I'm gonna put it like this: Leonard Garcia has nothing to prove. I think in this fight, he knows he won the fight. Mm-hmm. In his mind, he won the fight. But a guy like Jung, this is the kind of fight that keeps him up late at night, keeps him thinking.
Well, both of these guys have that massive chin. Their chin is just granite. You know what I'm saying? I just honestly feel that I don't think he's gonna pull it off.
I'm going with Jung.
I mean, unless he just says, I'm gonna just approach this fight a different way than the first time. If not, if you're gonna stand and bang like you did the last time, it's gonna end in the same result.
Right.
So
would like to point out a few honorable mention fights. We're not gonna go in depth into them. Hathaway versus McRae.
I'm Hathaway.
All the way. McRae. You tell McRae to go do push-ups and he's doing jumping jacks in the corner. John Madsen versus Mark Barney Fife. Russo.
I'm gonna say Madsen. If Russell gets another win, I'll be amazed. I'll start. Hey, I'll wear a T-shirt, a Mike Russell T-shirt.
You heard it. If Russell wins a fight, he's wearing a Russell T-shirt.
I'm wearing a Russell T-shirt.
Next show.
Maybe a pen. I'll make a pen.
Now, you said T-shirt.
All right. T-shirt.
I can't wait to see this.
Yeah.
I hope Russell doesn't win.
Me too.
And then Bruce Leroy Caceres making his real UFC debut, because he did fight on tough night, but he's fighting a very dangerous, very game Mackins.
I'm going with Mackins. I just don't think this isn't a game. This isn't tough. This is the real deal. And Mackins already fought in the UFC. So, hey.
So that wraps up the Fight Night review. Some interesting news came out last week.
It did. Indeed, it did. Zuffa,
parent company of the UFC,
purchased Strikeforce.
I'm a little sad.
I am too, man. I just don't think that it's going to be hard to see where this lands. fighters and which direction is going to help them.
They're still not going to get paid more.
They're not going to get paid more. I can guarantee that's not going to happen. With this happening, maybe they'll fight more in a year. Maybe instead of just 2 fights in a year, you'll see 3. But the thing is,
that's the upside, right?
Yeah, the upside. I mean,
when can we see mixed cards?
That's in talks. I mean,
you know what I want to see.
What you want to see?
You know what I want to see. I don't even have to say.
Oh, Fedor and Couture?
Yes, sir.
I don't want to see that. But anyway, I will say that I think that it's good in the sense that, yes, we'll get more fights. I think it's bad because now fighters who get released now have to go overseas or in the Bellator. Bellator now fights on MTV2, but I haven't called a fight yet because I don't know what time. I don't even think I get MTV2 as a channel on DirecTV.
You got to have the up.
Yeah, I'm going to have to look for it, but we'll see.
I know that they talked to a few fighters. Some fighters were upset. Some fighters were happy. Bigfoot Silva, one of those fighters that is really happy because this is an opportunity to feed his family more often.
Well, he called out Brock Lesnar, and we'll see if that fight ever happens. And
how'd he call him out?
I want the Brock Lesnar. You know how that dude sounds, man. No, he can't. Boy, just get an interpreter.
That's all we got on the Fight Night stuff. And just to get serious for a minute, when we came on the scene last year on YouTube and Facebook, one of the first people that subscribed to our page was a cat named Hector. He runs a page on YouTube called The Crazy MMA Fan. The dude gave us some advice, some criticized us in some areas, and brought us up on some game in some areas. We respected him. We respected his show. Unfortunately, we learned just this week that Hector is no longer around. Hector passed away January 15th. But that's what the beginning of the show was about. We just wanted to give a shout out to Hector and rest in peace, man.
Rest in peace, man.
Hey, and keep the channel alive. Crazy MMA Fan on YouTube. The Goo's got some great shows on there. He really had a great show, man.
Right. Absolutely.
All right. Well, until next time, I'm Chuck.
And I'm D.
And you were in the clinch.